Okay, part two, this time with Alan Crabbe, and again, I'll have Neil open up with a couple of quick comments, and then we'll go to questions.
Again, thanks for staying, guys. Obviously, AC is another foundational player for us. He's a part of the core. We all saw what he was able to do last year when he was given the opportunity, and those opportunities will increase as we go forward. He's still an incredibly young player in the league, and AC and I had a lot of conversations, when he was drafted, and he was probably drafted too late in the drafts, and now he's reaping the rewards of going probably 10 spots lower than he should have. So we had a bunch of conversations about that, not dissimilar to DeAndre Jordan a few years before him, and he's earned it as much as anybody. In and out of the active list, on the active list, starting, not starting, anything we threw at him, he accepted. He flourished in it. He kept working. He made a big jump last summer, and obviously was rewarded. And all that work was validated by the interest other teams had in him this summer, as well as us, knowing he was always going to be back, and just making sure his agents did a great job, making sure he got the best financial compensation possible. But he's here with us, and he's going to contribute, and he's going to be here long term. So again, another core piece and a foundational player for us going forward that provides the sustainability and consistency we're looking for.
Questions?
AC, can you just talk about, Neil brought up the disappointment of draft night for you and how hard that was. Did you ever see yourself here today, sitting where you are with this lucrative deal?
Yeah, I told him he was going to be here doing this.
Yeah, he actually did. He when I had got drafted and first came up to Portland, he had a talk with me and knew that I was disappointed about going so late in the draft, and he just told me, just work hard and do what I have to do, and you'll be reaping the benefits. And look at us to this day. So, draft night was supposed to be one of those nights where you think that it's supposed to be one of the most exciting nights of your life, and I can just remember it being terrible. Just being in there in New York. Just waiting for my name to get called, and after the first round just went by, I'm still sitting there, and not on a team, but I'm just thankful for the opportunity that Portland, traded those picks, traded up to get me, and I feel like it's really worked out to my benefit over these 3 years. They've done a great job with helping me develop into the player that I am today, and I'm just looking forward to moving forward and contributing in a successful way for this team, and looking for great things to come.
Alan, what's the next step for you in your, in the development of your game, would you say?
I feel just being more comfortable with the ball in my hand. Find other ways to score than just the, one dribble pull-up or the two dribble pull-up. But I feel like that is one of the biggest things for me, is just being comfortable with the ball, doing a better job at rebounding, just continue to fill up the stat sheet in a way that can, help contribute to the team.
Alan, did you know the Blazers were going to match? And what was that like to have, one team offer you all this money and then kind of have to wait and see?
Honestly, it was definitely it was a stressful free agency. Not for the fact that got the contract, but just not knowing where I was going to be. I knew how much Portland valued me. It just they waited to the last day, third day, so I'm just like,
that
man.
was to punish the team, though, not you.
So I was just like, man, what's going on? And then, I got the phone call from Neil, and he didn't just straight out say we're matching. He, built up the story, and then he told me he was going to match, and it was exciting, man, just knowing that I was going to be back here. I love this organization. We built, some great things here, and, with the success that we had last year and the new pieces that we added, it's only going to get better for us.
Alan, there's obviously you had a lot of optimism heading into this, but at the same time, be honest now, did you ever expect that kind of money to be available and to sign a deal of that magnitude?
Honestly, no. I got my friends here front row, and you always talk about what you want to make, and once the season had ended, we all had a conversation about this is what I want to make. And once I started going into meetings with my agent and just hearing interest from other teams and all this stuff, and with the salary cap going up and everything, a contract last year compared to what the contract could be this year, I started hearing numbers that I was not even expecting. So I just feel like me just, staying the course, man, everything that I had to go through, the work that I put in, it paid off, and it paid off at the right time. I feel like it was the best time to be a free agent. So it all came at the right time.
AC, how does that, signing that deal, how does that change things for you?
Just, makes me want to work even, more harder. Last year was definitely a big summer for me and me putting in a lot of time. But now with, the contract that I received, I feel like, more expectations of me. And, each and every year is just a year where you want to get better. Identify certain things that you weren't good at in the previous year and, go to the lab and work on those things so that you can come back prepared and, do more for next season.
AC, when you look at the rest of the roster, does it give you some comfort knowing there's a core group that's going to be here with you for a few years?
Oh, yeah, man. Familiar faces. We've done a great job. Dame did a great job last year with, starting off the before training camp. We all got together, went on that trip to San Diego, and I feel like that was just the first stepping stone of us building something good here. And, we have basically the same team back this year with some key additions, new additions. So I just feel it can only get better for us.
AC, you guys have a lot of guys that play, similar positions. Do you have a goal in mind for a role that you want next year?
Just come in and do what I've been doing, man. Ever since I've gotten here, I've done everything that the organization has asked me to do, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. Any way I can help, contribute to this team being successful, that's going to be my role. And, just continue to develop as a basketball player. Those are the biggest things for me.
Neil, for you and your staff, was this at all a difficult decision? Basically considering the financial implications of it, or was it basically you felt?
No. It was never. Look, we talked about this. It was, and AC and I talked about this. Look, we had an opportunity to maximize our cap room this summer, okay, and it was going to go away, knowing what AC was going to get, what Myers would have gotten, what some other guys on our roster, and a lot of that is a testament to Terry Stotts and his staff, and the way that they've developed players, the way they've put them in positions to be successful. And, like I said, that's been validated. It's not just a validation of the work of the players, but it's a work of what Terry and his staff have done to maximize their potential, which is identified by other teams around the league, and they pursued our players. So, look, traditionally, you watched last year, everybody was unrestricted. They all got huge raises. Every guy that walked out of this organization or we let go got a gargantuan raise. And this year, like I said, the model was wanting to make sure we retain the rights of our players so that if their market value exceeded where we would have gone proactively, we had the ability to match. So it was never a question. It was basically more adhering to the rules of the NBA and the collective bargaining agreement, which is we can't have deals with our own players and then also use the cap room. We just can't do that. So what we had to do is let them go through their process knowing we had a buffer, right? The moratorium ended on the 7th. We had until the 9th, if they got offer sheets, to use our cap room before it went away permanently. And we did that. And we were able to kind of squeeze everybody in. We did Evan, day one, Festus later in the process, the Napier trade a little bit later. And then, like I said, took advantage of the fact that the rules are such that we're able to address our guys after the fact while we still had the flexibility to match it without having to be in a situation where it was an either or, it was always both. And like I said, we don't draft guys here to let them walk away, or we don't take it for granted. I think you've seen the commitment that we've made to the guys we've drafted. We've probably given a longer leash to guys we've drafted than other places because, look, we've got to capitalize on trades, draft, and player development. Okay, we can't buy our way out of trouble the way that some more higher profile destination markets can at times. So, like I said, you see AC, like nobody was more proud that a guy we moved two late seconds to move up to go get at 31 is a $75 million player in this league by a very good organization in Brooklyn that identified his talent. So, look, it's a good day for us as well, right? Because this is a guy that came in, was in a logjam positionally behind multiple wings and worked his way all the way through that to be the player he is today and is still only 23 years old. So, this isn't the end of the road. This is just another step for AC, which is what he's talking about. And, I think with both these guys, with AC and Myers, there are two kind of players in the league when they get the payday that, Dwight's talking about. There are the guys that exhale and feel like I can now relax because I've gotten this and I've worked my life for this and I can become more complacent. And there are other guys that have the character and the discipline and the drive to want to validate the contract and work even harder. And that's why we match, because we believe that both Myers and AC are guys that are going to be even more diligent in their approach to the game because they do feel responsible for living up to the terms of the contract.
Any other questions? Okay, wrap it up then. Thanks everybody for coming.